Chosen one, this message didn't find you by accident. It was written in the stars long before you were born. No coincidence, no randomness. This is divine timing in motion, ancient prophecy waking through the present moment. You were called here because the fire buried in your bloodline is ready to rise. You are not just hearing words, you are remembering a truth that was hidden for 1,000 years. Because within you lies something extraordinary, not new, but eternal. Not learned, but remembered. Once every 1,000 years, a soul is born with fire in their bones, a pulse that echoes across time. You are not just living a life, you are fulfilling a prophecy. You are the chosen one, the first in a millennium not to flee, not to bow, not to fade, but to rise. For centuries, your bloodline has known defeat, silence, and exile. The power was there, buried beneath fear, forgotten in myth, until you, the one who remembers, the one who answers. This is no ordinary life. This is your rise. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this message isn't just content. It's a divine confirmation, meant for the chosen ones. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a sacred code, a signal to the Most High and the universe that you're aligned, awake, and ready to receive what's already yours by divine right. Not everyone will make it to the end, only the truly chosen. And those who stay will gain clarity, activate deeper awareness, and unlock the hidden blessings encoded in every word of this message. This isn't something you listen to once. It's a living truth that unfolds layer by layer. Rewatch it as many times as your soul calls for, because with each listen, you'll catch a new revelation, a divine key you may have overlooked the first time. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. The Ancient Pulse. It doesn't begin with thunder. It begins with something quieter, a restlessness you can't explain, a subtle ache in your spirit, a sense that no matter where you go, you don't quite belong. The world moves fast, shallow, and numb, but you feel everything. The noise outside clashes with the silence you're craving inside. You try to ignore it at first. You follow the rules. You wear the masks. You chase what others chase. But something inside you keeps whispering. Something older than your memories. Something that doesn't fit inside the boxes they built for you. You begin to notice the difference between noise and truth. The emptiness behind the smiles. The hollowness in the routines. You see the world sleepwalking. And deep down, you know you were never meant to join them. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break the spell. You feel the pull in quiet moments, under moonlight, in still forests, during long walks where your thoughts grow heavy and wild. You feel it when music stirs your soul for no reason, when tears well up from nothing you can name. You feel something sacred trying to reach you. Through symbols, through silence, through dreams. Sometimes it feels like a longing you can't satisfy. Other times, it's a rage you don't understand, as if your spirit is rebelling against everything false. You may feel isolated, misunderstood, even judged for your depth. But this is the path of the awakened. The world doesn't recognize what it fears, and it fears the ones who remember. You're not here to fit in. You're here to tune in, to remember, to awaken. The ancient pulse is not a burden. It's a birthright, a compass buried beneath layers of conditioning, noise, and inherited doubt. And when you begin to feel it again, truly feel it, you realize you've been waiting your whole life for this moment. The signs have been there all along, the dreams, the synchronicities, the quiet knowing that you were meant for more, not more in status, but more in spirit. You were meant to ignite something lost, something sacred, something that doesn't make sense to the world, but makes perfect sense to your soul. You dream of places you've never been, faces you've never seen. You feel pulled by symbols, by stars, by certain numbers, by nature, by patterns others don't notice. You feel connected to something invisible and yet more real than anything you've been taught. That feeling, that's the ancient pulse. It's not anxiety. It's not imagination. It's the signal that the time has come. The power that once roared through your ancestors, through mystics and warriors, seers and sages, is stirring again, this time in you. For 1,000 years, that pulse has waited for someone strong enough to hear it and brave enough to answer. It doesn't choose the perfect. It chooses the ready. And though you may not feel ready, you are. Because readiness isn't comfort. It's willingness. It's the moment you stop numbing and start listening. The moment you choose presence over performance, depth over distraction. This pulse is the heartbeat of your soul, remembering who you are, why you came, and what you were always meant to awaken. You were never lost. You were being called. And now, the pulse grows louder. You can ignore it, or you can follow it. And if you do, everything will begin to change. Chapter 2. The Lost Map. You search for guidance, but there is no map, no elder to show the way, no clear path drawn out ahead of you. The world insists there must be a guide, a manual, a specific road to follow. But as you stand at the crossroads of your life, all you find are fragments, symbols flickering in your dreams, strange patterns weaving through your thoughts, whispers that rise from the depths of your intuition, urging you forward. The world tells you that you're lost because there's no clear direction. But deep down, you feel something stirring, something that tells you this chaos is not a sign of failure, but the beginning of a new creation. Why are there no answers? Why do the roads seem blurred? Because you are the map. You were never meant to follow someone else's footsteps. You were meant to carve your own path through uncharted territories. The world has grown accustomed to playing by predictable rules, relying on other people's maps and methods. But you are here to break the mold, to reimagine, to forge your own way, even when it seems as if you're walking through fog. And so, what feels like being lost is actually the beginning of becoming. The blank pages of your story have not been written yet. The road before you is unmarked because it's not meant to be traveled by anyone else. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are laying the first stones of a path that has never existed. You may feel the weight of uncertainty, but remember, true creation begins in the unknown. It's easy to get caught in the illusion that there must be a right way to do things, a right path, a map that others have followed before. But the greatest minds, the greatest visionaries, the greatest souls, they didn't follow maps. They didn't find their way by tracing someone else's journey. They made their way. They trusted the inner spark that guided them through darkness, even when no map existed to show them where they were headed. In your search for guidance, you've stumbled upon the greatest truth. You are the one you've been waiting for. There's no need to look outward for answers, because the answers have always been within you. The story you seek to write, the life you wish to create. It's already in your bones, in your bloodline, in the very pulse of your soul. You were chosen not to repeat, but to create. You are here to leave a mark no one else could, to build a legacy of originality, to break free from the chains of convention and write your own rules. And even when the road ahead seems invisible, know that you are not lost. You are in the process of becoming something entirely new. You are the artist of your life, the architect of your destiny, and the map is not something to find. It is something to create. Trust that the map will emerge as you walk it. The directions will reveal themselves step by step, but only if you step forward with faith. You are not meant to follow. You are meant to lead. Chapter 3: The Trials of the Spirit. As you rise, the darkness rises too. Fear sharpens like a blade. Doubt grows louder than ever before, and old wounds you thought were healed begin to open once more. This is not punishment, nor is it a sign that you are failing. It is preparation. Preparation for the greatness that lies ahead, for the power you are destined to claim. You face the trial of shadows, where your own inner demons take form before you, each one a reflection of your deepest fears, your hidden insecurities, your past mistakes. They come to challenge your belief in yourself, to remind you of every time you've fallen short, every moment of weakness you've suffered. Yet, these shadows are not your enemies. They are the very tools you need to grow, to evolve. They exist to test your resilience, to force you to confront the parts of yourself that you've buried in darkness. Only by facing these shadows can you truly step into the light of who you are meant to be. Then comes the trial of silence, the most isolating and lonely trial of all. In this moment, it feels as though the world has turned its back on you. No one understands your path, your struggles, your vision. You stand at the crossroads of your journey, surrounded by silence, and yet the emptiness feels deafening. The voices of doubt echo even louder, but it is in this silence that your strength is forged. It is here that you learn to trust yourself, to listen to the quiet whispers of your soul, and to walk forward even when no one is watching, even when no one is cheering you on. This is the test of your inner conviction, your belief that your path is true, even when it seems like no one else sees it. And finally, you face the trial of choice. This is the moment when you must step forward without certainty, without proof, and without assurance of success. You walk by faith alone, choosing to trust the process even when the outcome is unknown. You will be tempted to turn back, to find comfort in what you know, to retreat to the familiar. But the choice is yours, to stay in your comfort zone or to move into the unknown, to rise or to remain stagnant. Every step you take in faith, every decision you make without seeing the end, is a testament to the power of your spirit. These trials are not setbacks. They are sacred tests. They are the fire that tempers your soul, the furnace that forges your strength. Each trial you face shapes you into the person you are destined to become, stronger, wiser, more resilient. The darkness is not a sign that you're on the wrong path, but rather a sign that you're on the right one. The trials of the Spirit are the proving grounds of your soul, and by overcoming them, you emerge not just victorious, but transformed. Chapter 4: The Mirror Gate. Every chosen one must stand before the mirror gate, a threshold unlike any other, where the reflections you see aren't shaped by the world, by others' expectations, or by the masks you've worn for survival. In this place, you are forced to confront the raw truth of who you are. Not the version you've been conditioned to believe, not the one you've molded to fit into the confines of society, but the pure, untamed essence of your spirit. This is where you see yourself as you were always meant to be, long before the world had its say. It is here, at the mirror gate, that you remember the promise you made before you even entered this world. You remember the soul contract you signed, a promise made in the silence of eternity, a vow to carry the torch of your lineage, to shatter the generational curses that bound your ancestors, and to rise above the darkness that has threatened to claim your family for countless generations. The world may have shaped you in ways you didn't ask for, but standing before the mirror gate, you realize that you are not just the sum of your experiences. You are the embodiment of an ancient calling, a call to break free, to transform, and to rise higher than those who came before you. This moment is not one of mere self-reflection. It is one of self-reclamation. You don't simply face yourself in the mirror. You step into the truth of who you truly are. You strip away the layers of doubt, shame, and limitation that have been draped over your spirit for far too long. In that quiet, sacred space, you claim every part of you that was once lost or forgotten. You embrace your essence, your flaws, your gifts, and your purpose with a love so fierce it shakes the very foundation of your being. You see yourself, not as the world sees you, but as the universe always knew you to be. And in this reclamation, you unlock the dormant power that has always been waiting within you. Your name, which you may have carried lightly or forgotten its significance, reveals its true power. Your ancestors' stories, the triumphs and the trials, the victories and the sacrifices, come alive within you, flowing through your blood. The scars that once seemed like burdens now glow with the wisdom they hold. Each scar, each struggle, becomes a testament to your strength, a badge of honor that proves your endurance, your resilience, and your transformation. This is the moment when you realize that all of it, the pain, the doubts, the trials, the loneliness, was never in vain. It was all part of a grand design. You were always meant to stand before the mirror gate, to look into the depths of your soul, and to see the warrior that you are. This is where the veil is lifted, where the truth is revealed, and where you step into the fullness of your power. As you step away from the mirror gate, you are no longer the same. You carry within you a power that transcends time and space, a power that is ancient and eternal, a power that is uniquely yours. You are now ready to walk forward, not just as a person, but as a force of nature, unstoppable, unshakable, and fully aligned with your divine purpose. The mirror gate is not just a passage, it is the birth of your true self, and through it, you rise. Chapter 5: The Breaking and the Becoming. There comes a moment, somewhere along your journey, when something within you breaks, but not in despair, not in failure. This is the breaking of old walls, the shattering of the false versions of yourself that you've carried for years, perhaps even your entire life. It is a transformation, a profound and sacred rupture that allows your true self to emerge from beneath the layers that no longer serve you. The old self, the one shaped by fear, by people-pleasing, by the need to fit in, by the instinct for survival, begins to crumble. These parts of you, the ones that sought validation from others, that bent to the expectations of society, that clung to comfort and conformity, no longer have a place in your life. In the breaking, there is no judgment, no guilt, no shame. It is simply the shedding of what was never yours to begin with. These were the illusions you adopted to survive, but now they can no longer contain the fire of your soul. As the old self falls away in its place, something holy begins to form. Not a new version of you, but the true you, the one that has always been buried beneath the surface. It is not a version of you shaped by the opinions of others, by the limits of your circumstances, or by the fears of your mind. This is the essence of who you were always meant to be, a reflection of the divine power that resides within you. This is the moment when you stop playing small, when you stop pretending, when you stop dimming your light to make others feel comfortable. You step into your truth, unashamed, unapologetic, and fully aligned with your purpose. In this moment of becoming, you realize that you are not just a product of your own life experiences, but the fulfillment of the hopes, prayers, and dreams of those who came before you. Your ancestors, those who walked the earth before you, who fought battles you never knew, who carried burdens that shaped your bloodline, prayed for you. They prayed for someone to rise, for someone to break free from the chains of fear and limitation that held their families captive for generations. They prayed for a force of light to emerge from the darkness, someone who would fulfill the promise of their legacy. And here you are, standing in your true power, a living manifestation of their deepest desires. Even if they never believed it would come, even if they never saw it in their lifetimes. This is not a fall. This is not a collapse. This is your becoming. This is the rebirth of your soul into its highest form, the unveiling of your true strength, your true essence, your true potential. It is the moment when you realize that you are not just the sum of your past experiences, but the embodiment of a greater purpose, a purpose that transcends time, a purpose that connects you to something far larger than yourself. In the breaking, you discover the depth of your resilience, the power of your spirit, and the sacredness of your journey. You shed the fears, the doubts, the limitations, and in doing so, you rise. Not as a different version of yourself, but as the whole version of yourself. The version that was always meant to stand tall, to speak your truth, to walk your path with unwavering faith. You have become the one your ancestors dreamed of. You have become the one who will carry the legacy forward, the one who will break the cycles, shatter the curses, and create a new future for those who come after you. This is not just your victory. This is the victory of all who came before you, the culmination of all their sacrifices, struggles, and prayers. And as you rise from the breaking, you carry the weight of that sacred responsibility with pride, with honor, and with the knowledge that your becoming is not just personal, it is cosmic. This is the moment when you fully realize you were always meant for this. You were always meant to rise, to break free, and to become the force of transformation that the world desperately needs. This is the breaking, and this is your becoming. Chapter 6. The Rise That Echoes. You rise, but it's not a grand, sudden eruption. It's quiet, steady, deliberate. It is the slow, sacred unfolding of a truth that has been waiting to be revealed. In the rise, there is no need for fanfare, no need for the approval of others, no need for loud declarations. It is a rise that is rooted deeply within your soul, grounded in the quiet knowing of your purpose. It is a rise that doesn't seek attention, but commands it nonetheless. For when you rise in truth, there is no way for the world not to notice. As you rise, you walk differently. Your steps are firm, confident, unshakable, as though the very ground beneath you recognizes the shift in your energy. You speak with fire, but it is a fire born from wisdom, from experience, from the battles you've fought and the lessons you've learned. Your words carry weight, and when you speak, the world listens. You radiate clarity, a clarity that comes from having faced the chaos of your mind and soul, having navigated the darkness and come out stronger. There is no confusion, no uncertainty. You know who you are, you know where you are going, and you know the purpose that drives you. But as you rise, something incredible happens. Others begin to feel it. They may not fully understand it, they may not be able to articulate it, but they feel the shift in your energy. Your rise is not just a personal transformation, it is an awakening for those around you. Your presence stirs something deep within them, something that has been dormant, something that they may have long forgotten or buried in their own hearts. Your rise breaks unseen chains, chains that have kept them bound in fear, in doubt, in complacency. The courage you display inspires them to step forward into their own power, to question the limits they've placed on themselves, and to see that they too can rise. You are changing timelines simply by refusing to run, by refusing to hide, by refusing to turn back. Every step you take forward is a step toward breaking the cycles that have held so many captive for centuries. In your rise, you not only shift your own future, but you alter the course of history itself. The decisions you make, the strength you embody, and the choices you refuse to compromise on ripple through the fabric of time, altering not just the present, but the past and future as well. The legacy you are creating doesn't just belong to you. It belongs to those who came before you and those who will come after you. You don't rise for yourself alone. You rise for the 1,000 years behind you, for the generations that suffered, that struggled, that never had the chance to break free. You rise for the ancestors who longed for a day when their descendants would have the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to rise up and claim their birthright. You rise for them, to honor their struggles, to fulfill the dreams they could never reach, and to continue their fight for freedom and transformation. And you rise for the 1,000 years ahead. You rise for the children who have yet to be born, for the souls who will walk the earth long after you are gone. The world you are creating now will shape their futures. Your courage today is the foundation of their possibilities tomorrow. You are laying the groundwork for a future that is freer, more conscious, and more aligned with the divine truth that you are now embodying. This is not just your rise. It is the rise of generations. It is the rise of the collective spirit. And in your rise, you leave a trail of light for others to follow, a path that echoes across time. You are not just changing your life. You are transforming the world. You are rising for the past, for the present, and for the future, and your rise will echo through eternity. Chapter 7. The Age of Light begins with you. The war is not over, but a new era has begun. Not because the battle has been won in the way the world expected, but because you chose to rise. This rise marks the dawn of a new age, one that was foretold in whispers long before your time. It's a quiet revolution, born not from the clashing of armies or the loud cries of victory, but from the stillness of your soul's decision to stand firm, to refuse to bend to the darkness that has held sway for far too long. In this decision, the world shifts, ever so slightly at first, but profoundly in ways that only time will reveal. The world won't always see it. Many will still sleep, trapped in the illusion of limitation, unaware of the transformation taking place. They will continue to walk in the fog of fear, caught in the cycle of old stories that tell them they are small, insignificant, powerless. They will not recognize the shift you've initiated, and in their ignorance, they may mock it, fear it, or even try to silence it. But you know that the true power of your rise is not dependent on the recognition or validation of others. It is not in the applause, the accolades, or the external signs of success. The true power lies in your unwavering commitment to be who you were always meant to be, to step into your power regardless of how the world responds. Yet somewhere in the quiet corners of the world, someone will feel the ripple of your rise. Somewhere, a child will dream freer because of the courage you embodied. They will see in your life the possibility that their dreams are worth pursuing, that they are not bound by the limitations of their circumstances, and that they too can rise. Somewhere, a heart will begin to hope again, rekindled by the fire you set in motion. Your light may not reach every corner of the earth, but it will find those who need it most, those who have been waiting for the spark that will ignite their own transformation. The prophecy is fulfilled not in a single moment, but in the movement of your life. It is not a grand event that marks the fulfillment of your purpose, but the steady unfolding of your choices, your actions, your refusal to remain silent or hidden. Every time you rise, every step you take in faith, every time you refuse to back down in the face of fear, the prophecy is being written. It is not written in the sky or etched in stone, but in the hearts and minds of those who witness your journey, who draw strength from your example. You were never meant to run. You were never meant to shrink back or retreat into the shadows. You were never meant to be anything less than the force of light that you were born to be. The world has always needed you, needed the truth of who you are, the strength of your soul, the fire of your spirit. The moment you chose to rise was the moment the age of light began. It is a quiet, subtle beginning, but it is unstoppable. Just as the dawn inevitably breaks the night, your rise marks the shift from darkness to light, from limitation to possibility. Now, nothing will ever be the same. The world has changed because you chose to rise. You have broken the chains that bound you and ignited a flame that cannot be extinguished. Your rise is not just personal, it is collective. The light you carry has set in motion a wave of transformation that will continue to grow far beyond what you can see or understand in this moment. As you rise, others will rise with you, and together you will create a new world. This is the age of light, and it begins with you. You are the catalyst, the spark, the beginning of something greater than yourself. Your choice to rise, to stand in your truth, to embody the power of your soul, will change the course of history. The future is no longer written in the shadows of fear, but in the brilliance of the light that you carry. And as you rise, you invite the world to rise with you. The war is not over, but the age of light has begun, and with every step you take, you make it a little brighter.